one of those things we're going to cover that everybody likes to understand better is those credit scores. How do you maximize them? There's 3 credit bureaus out there. You've got the 7 simple steps here to help you maximize those scores. What are they?
All right, number 1 is an obvious one, folks. Watch those credit card balances. Obviously, the more you owe, the more negatively it's going to impact your credit score. If you're maxed out on your credit cards, it is going to, you could have never made a late payment. And if you are at, we'll say, 60, 70, 80% or higher of your available balance, in other words, you've got 5 credit cards, we'll say, keep it simple, and each one of them has a max of $2,000 that you can have. So that's a total of $10,000. Collectively, you owe $9,000 on those 5 credit cards. Never missed a payment, always on time. I'm telling you, folks, your credit score is probably going to be in the mid-600s, even if all your credit card payments have been made on time and you've got some other good credit. You're maxed on all those, so be very careful. What do? You keep them all ideally under that 50% threshold. There's no magic number, but the lower you are on each one of them, spread the love a little. That'll get you the best interest rate opportunities on those credit cards and keep that score primed. Craig, you've also got the those nuisance balances, what we might say, are going to be a number of small charges that you may make on a random number of cards, and they're small amounts, but you also have a small credit line on those. You don't use them very much, and sometimes possibly what happens is you forget about those. You charge $30 because you got 10% off at the whatever, Neiman Marcus, something like that, and you forgot about that when you didn't, because it was just a small amount. Well, those often get missed, and in turn, those end up with lates, and that will nail your credit score.
Another important tip on this, too, that we see a lot of is that, again, keep in mind that your department stores, without naming any names, of your typical places where you go, you might be buying back-to-school clothes for kids, and they want to give you that credit card offer, get 20% off or whatever you purchase. That's fine, but a couple key points. One, these companies outsource their underwriting for their credit through some of the lesser, I don't know, I want to call them bad companies, but ones that don't always do as good of a job accurately reporting credit information. And number 2, a really important thing to know is that if you pay your balance once you receive your bill, those of you trying to pay your balance in full, you've got to do it before they even cut that bill. The statement cutoff date is also the reporting date. So let's say your credit card company cuts off the department store card. They cut the statement on the 23rd of the month, and they mail that to you. And then you get it in the mail on the 25th or 26th, and then you write a check or you get online and you pay it to zero. They've already reported that balance to the credit report. So even if you're paying it off every month, you keep showing this balance. If you use that repeatedly, there is always going to show this rolling balance. Try to go online when you know you've made a charge and pay it either immediately or a few days before they cut your statement, before you're going to make charges again, so therefore a zero balance gets reported. And that's the trick to getting cards that you pay off every month to report that you pay them off every month rather than waiting for the bill.
Good one. All right, sometimes we've got those of you that are maybe over-managing your credit a little bit. An example of that is you pay off your home loan and you contact the bureau and you say this is paid off, or you contact the creditor and you ask for it to be removed, or good debt, that's old good debt that is paid off and or even closed. Removing that from your credit report altogether does not positively impact you. In fact, it can negatively impact you. So don't worry if there's good debt on there. It's the bad debt you don't want on there. Another is that if you're shopping for a mortgage, a credit card, etc., many things you've got 30 days in the window. So a window to look for new credit. So you're applying for a mortgage. Within 30 days, you can have your credit run 100 times, and it's going to count as one pull. But if you shop for a mortgage in March, and then you shop again in April, then you shop again in July, and it is going to negatively impact your credit score. So when you shop, keep it confined to a window. Same with credit cards. If you apply for a new credit card every other month, it is going to have a negative impact on your credit score. So time it when you need good credit. Look for the best deal, apply it a few within a window, and get her done. Next one, Craig, what is it?
Don't slight bills in favor of a down payment. So if you're planning a big purchase, home, car, whatever, you might be scrambling to get some cash for your down payment. So when you're juggling bills, you don't want to start sending in your bills late. Don't start thinking, well, I'm trying to save for this house we're trying to buy, or we're getting ready to go buy a new car, and start missing bills or paying some late because you're trying to get that bigger down payment. I can tell you right now, there's plenty of mortgage programs available, and on cars, you rarely have to put money down. But if you're buying a house, you're much better off having better credit scores and lower credit card balances than having a little extra money to put down on that house. Especially the impact it's going to have on your payments going to be minor on the home versus what it would do if you can eliminate that credit card debt.
Okay, and this is another obvious one, folks. As we mentioned, balances being high, that impacts your credit worthiness, your score, etc. It's also, obviously, just paying all your bills on time. It doesn't matter how small it is. You could have a, you could have a collection for a library book. That collection is going to it's going to hurt your score. It doesn't matter if it's the gas card that you owe $100. If you're 30 days late or 60 days late, your 30 or 60 days late is going to have a negative impact on your score, so make sure you don't let any of those get behind. And the last one is, you know what, you can overthink it. Sometimes people are so worried about getting to a 760 from a 755 that they'll spend more time focusing on trying to get those extra 5 points when really, as Craig's going to share with you later, it may or may not have any impact at all on the credit you're going to get extended. So don't overthink it, folks. Just do the basics.
There's something happening here, but what it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man